Once upon a time, rare earths were a weighty topic, but the situation has completely changed. In the history of China's rare earth industry, the troubling past of rare earths remains an ever-present issue. Once, China accounted for 90% of the world's rare earth reserves. Yet, some unscrupulous traders, for the sake of a small profit, engaged in disorderly mining and sold rare earths overseas at low prices. In 2012, according to the China's Rare Earth Situation and Policies white paper, although China still held the world's largest reserves, its proportion had dropped to 23%. However, according to the latest news, China's rare earth reserves stand at 44 million tons, raising the proportion to approximately 35%. The current rare earth industry has prompted even the president of the European Union to speak out. Rare earths belong to the world, and the EU should have its own rare earth mining rights. In early November, there were reports that China plans to strengthen control over rare earth exports. Regarding this news, China neither confirmed nor denied it, choosing instead to remain silent. In this video, we'll delve into China's rare earth industry and discuss the following. The father of rare earths steps in, breaking 30 years of Western blockade in just 3 years. From malicious attacks to being embraced, capital has produced its own noose. After the counterattack, how dominant is China in the rare earth industry? You ban chips, I ban rare earths. Rare earths aren't soil, but a collective term for 17 elements on the periodic table, including the lanthanide series and the metals scandium and yttrium. Some liken the importance of rare earths to the vitamins of modern industry. Just a small amount is needed, yet without it, industries could perish. From ubiquitous smartphones to aircraft and ships, even precision manufacturing and aerospace, all require rare earths for their survival. Even in agriculture, using rare earths as fertilizers can boost crop yields. The cost of rare earth extraction is immense, often involving workers in proximity to radioactive elements, making rare earths more valuable than gold. While China has abundant rare earth resources, there have been instances of unscrupulous companies engaging in unauthorized mining, smuggling, and selling rare earths, initially driving their prices down. Indeed, 33 years ago, this was the case. The father of rare earths steps in, breaking 30 years of Western blockade. The story of rare earths traces back to the 20th century. Since the founding of the Republic, China had already identified the world's largest rare earth mine, Bao's Baiyun Obio Main Peak Iron Mine, in Inner Mongolia. To China, rare earths were akin to what oil is to the Middle East. However, at that time, China lacked the technology to refine rare earths, only able to export them at low prices and buy back the refined products at hundreds of times the cost. Possessing a golden mountain yet having to relinquish wealth was truly heart-wrenching. It wasn't until the Chinese chemical community finally welcomed the father of rare earths, Su Guangxian. In 1972, before undertaking the task of rare earth separation, Su Guangxian had already achieved success in extracting plutonium, a raw material for atomic bombs, using the extraction method. This time, for the greater cause of the nation, Su Guangxian once again shouldered a heavy responsibility, starting from scratch to research rare earth separation and extraction. At that time, countries with rare earth technology, regardless of their alliances, collectively imposed a blockade on China, not wishing for China to acquire this technology. Su Guangxian's research was genuinely starting from ground zero. He found a clue in an American article, suggesting a method that was deemed the most efficient for rare earth extraction. However, due to technological limitations, it was impractical for production and was abandoned. Yet, Su Guangxian managed to derive corresponding theories from it. Leading his team, within a mere 3 years, they solved a problem that had stumped Americans, placing China's rare earth smelting far ahead. From malicious attacks to being embraced, capitalism created its own noose. The good times didn't last long. After the reform and opening up, some state-owned enterprises were restructured into private enterprises. This attracted some profit-driven individuals who eyed the high profits in the rare earth industry. Countless small and micro-enterprises, seeking quick gains, engaged in illicit mining, smuggling, price wars, anything for a buck. These companies even competed against each other, undercutting prices just to sell rare earths. They sold these incredibly valuable substances for a fraction of their worth, less than the price of gold. The painstakingly developed extraction technology by Su Guangxian was tragically leaked, allowing numerous years of effort to go up in smoke. In 2006, foreign customs statistics indicated that the rare earth imports from China exceeded our own customs statistics by about one-third. This undoubtedly proved the madness of these unscrupulous traders. Behind this, there might have been some push from certain Western countries. Several nations stockpiled large reserves of Chinese-produced rare earths, intending to sell them back at high prices after China's reserves were depleted. Whenever there was an upward trend in rare earth prices, certain forces united to cease buying, artificially creating a buyer's market, keeping these enterprises struggling with plummeting prices. At that time, Su Guangxian, who had long been successful, was deeply distressed. He twice appealed to protect China's rare earth industry and salvage the situation of resource loss. Starting from 2006, 41 kinds of rare earth metals, alloys, and oxides were listed in the Restricted Trade Commodity Catalog. Since then, the export share of rare earths has steadily decreased. As Samuel Huntington once said, capital is willing to sell the noose that strangles it, as long as the price is right. These enterprises, in their pursuit of better exploitation, were willing to harm themselves. If rare earths couldn't be exported, why not process them domestically and then export them? Numerous international rare earth companies even shut down their foreign processing plants and moved their operations to China. While rare earths from China were being sold at low prices abroad, silently, within China's borders, the entire rare earth industry chain was being absorbed. While capital manipulated the low prices of rare earths, the revenue of local rare earth enterprises suffered immensely. Especially in the United States, the strategic move to cease mining domestic rare earths and amass Chinese reserves was proposed in 1980. In this context, many domestic rare earth enterprises in the United States went bankrupt, except for Molycorp, which survived due to owning the largest rare earth mine in the Mountain Pass mining district. But after the influx of rare earths from China into the market, rare earth prices plummeted, causing Molycorp to gradually fall short of sustaining itself, leading to temporary shutdowns. In 2002, in line with the tide of the times, Molycorp also relocated its factory to China. Industrial giants from major countries like Magnequench in the US, Epson in Japan, and Philips in the Netherlands all established factories in China. Were these capitalists so careless in pursuing profits? China was fully prepared, only lacking the opportunity to strike back. Engrossed in their money-making dreams by sucking others' blood, finally, in 2010, someone discovered that the majority of the world's rare earths were actually produced in China. Even rare earth ores mined from other countries had to be shipped to China for processing. In such a scenario, the talent in the global rare earth industry also converged in China. In 2019, the CEO of Lynas Corporation in Australia, the largest rare earth company globally outside of China, mentioned that approximately 100 doctoral experts in the rare earth industry were all working in China. And most of these doctoral experts were students of one person, Su Guangxian. How strong is China's dominance in the rare earth industry after its counterattack? In the tense atmosphere of 2012, Japan's Minister of Economy, Trade, and Industry uttered conciliatory words. It's crucial to swiftly restore Sino-Japanese relations, especially economic exchanges. After all, Japan's pivotal industries, the semiconductor and automotive sectors, relied heavily on rare earths. Yet, Japan's potential rare earth reserves lay buried beneath an active volcano, 2,000 kilometers from the mainland, over 500 kilometers from the nearest island, at a depth of 5,000 meters below sea level. It's not that Japan couldn't mine rare earths domestically, but importing from China was more cost-effective. From mining, separation, refinement, alloy smelting to downstream products, China established an unprecedentedly comprehensive industrial chain. American rare earth hydride alloy producers, Australian mining companies, companies like Alkane, all became part of China's rare earth industry chain. In 2015, the once dominant Molycorp in the United States went bankrupt, restructured itself, and emerged as NEO New Materials Technology, Beijing Company, Ltd. You ban chips, I ban rare earths. The historical rare earth export quotas, limiting the quantity of rare earth exports, concluded in 2014. In 2012, led by the United States, several nations filed a trade complaint with the WTO, demanding China abolish its rare earth export control measures. This rare earth case concluded in 2014 with a WTO ruling against China for breach of regulations. The blunt quota method no longer sufficed to govern the rare earth industry. Consequently, the regulation on rare earths management was introduced under these circumstances. In May of the same year, while quotas ceased, the export tariffs on rare earths increased tenfold. To date, China's rare earth industry has consolidated into 6 major groups: Northern Rare Earth, China Minmetals, Aluminum Corporation of China, Xiamen Tungsten, Southern Rare Earth, and Guangdong Rare Earth. In the past 2 years, rare earth prices have consistently dropped, partly due to China's current production exceeding demand, and partly to better accommodate downstream production chains, given the enormous necessity for rare earths in the industrial society. The low prices of rare earths also lay the foundation for China's thriving new energy and semiconductor industries today. In recent years, threats faced by China have been gradually expanding, with crises looming in the external environment. In July this year, China implemented controls on gallium and germanium exports to balance its semiconductor industry, impacting the global high-end semiconductor industry. Though the total value of these restrictions was only $6 million, other countries' costs to establish their own industrial chains exceeded $10 billion. In October this year, exports of high-purity graphite were also controlled, replaying history once more. As long as China retains its grip on rare earths, this world won't plunge into chaos. What's your view on the development of China's rare earth industry? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments section. This is the end of this video. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and comment. We genuinely appreciate your support.